Okay, I'm out looking at a rather significant Quercus agrifolia, coast live oak, and the client is concerned about some areas of decay. The first observation is this weeping that's coming out here that's clearly coming from this main crotch. So I got a big rod and I started doing some probing to find out what's going on, and the smell of alcohol is really strong in here. So I can feel that it is compromised. I probably should clean it out. There's an active termite or a carpenter ant colony in here, so I'm going to tread lightly here. But what I found over on this side, as I broke out all the stuff in the front here, and it's quite punky in here. It goes down, oh, I can feel it's real soft down several feet. And I also can hear that it's hollow up underneath this area right here. More solid on this side. There's some active tissue over here and active tissue over here, but it's just a guess as to how compromised this is. I can see up and through here that this, I probably should peel that off just to see what's going on underneath there. It's not adding anything structural to the tree. A lot of times when you make your evaluation of the tree, you really have to probe it and poke and see what's going on. You know, clearly there's some decay in here. Let's see if I can punch a hole through there and say what's going on. Yeah, it's soft, goes in a few inches. This is the main crotch of a very large section of the tree. So this is compromised over here. This portion of the tree is compromised. And over in this other crotch, I see a lot of insect frass, some sort of a boring insect, the oak borer, and that's a guess. This limb here, which is quite substantial, that I've parked my truck underneath, has a old split all the way up and through here that has, it's got some active tissue in there, but there's a weakness in here. This limb is very heavy. So we've got this section of the tree here with a compromise, this section of the tree here with a double compromise, and we've got all of this very strong smelling alcohol weeping that's going on. Okay, another issue that I see here is it appears to have had some grade raising. You can tell because the trunk goes kind of abruptly into the ground without any kind of a root flare. So with all the development here, I'm not surprised. So there may be some basal crown rot down here. It would probably be a good idea to do a little excavating in here and see if the base of this tree has any compromised areas. Occasionally when you do these excavations, you will find that the bark is weak and compromised, and large areas of basal crown rot decay is evident underground that you wouldn't see without doing any excavating. Now on this really long limb here, looks like a few years ago a very large limb was taken off on this side, so some of the weight was reduced, but it's still very heavy out here. So at the very least I'd recommend a weight reduction on this side of the tree. And in this area of weakness up here, all of that is going over on that side. And I just recognize that there's a cable way up high, so somebody clearly saw that there was a problem. Now cables can really fool you, because if that cable is supporting too much of the weight of this tree, then this portion of the tree can be dependent upon it. And another thing that I see is the size of the limb that cable is going into is not really that significant. You know, while it's good that it's up high, it supports a lot, but the attachment point over here has got to be strong enough to support all that weight. So what do we do in a case like this? That's a good question. Now common sense has always got to be the strongest decision maker when you're looking at a tree that could potentially fall apart. And when I say common sense, you have to say, what are the targets? Well, if this were to split out, it would very likely hit the neighboring house. There's a swimming pool, there's children that probably are in the backyard at times, so that's a pretty big target over there. On this side, if this were to fall, I think it would just miss the house, but it would come close. And I do know that the client is planning some development back here of some sort. So if there's further construction damage, that could be exacerbating a bad situation. So if the client said they loved the tree and what can we do to save it, my recommendation would be an excessive amount, well, excessive is a tough word, enough of an amount of weight reduced from that side, which I see as the biggest hazard, enough weight over here so that this isn't going to fail, a little bit up on top there, but you have to do it in such a way where you don't leave the tree looking real choppy. I think we could do it. I think we could make the tree reasonably safe, but when I say reasonably, that's always going to be a hazard, and that decay doesn't stop. The decay is going to continue to get worse and worse every year until the decision will be made for him. It won't just suddenly heal up, and it won't suddenly get stronger because of the location and the extreme amount of decay that's in there. So at the end of the day, I think I would lean towards removal.